Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu. Main Source Bank, headquartered in Greensburg, Indiana, offering products and services to fit every stage of life. More information at mainsourcebank.com. Main Source, life needs a great bank. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk, what happens to renters when an apartment complex is facing foreclosure?
I was worried. We lose our lease right away.
What rights do residents have and how can they plan ahead so they don't end up without a roof over their head? Vigo County recognizes it needs a new jail, but where to build it and how to pay for it seem like insurmountable obstacles.
When you get state inspected and you're failing and you've got a federal lawsuit, it's tough to keep this place running.
Plus, imagine your life without antibiotics. A cut becomes a serious infection, so serious it can kill you.
We have driven the bacteria that have those antibiotic resistance genes to thrive and survive and multiply, and we've killed off all their competition.
Ahead, the issue of antibiotic resistance and what can be done. Those stories, plus the latest news headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Jails across the state are bursting at the seams. County sheriffs are feeling the pinch and officials are working to find alternative ways to reduce the inmate population and build new jails. In Terre Haute, tensions are mounting as federal deadlines pass on a proposed new county jail. Vigo County Sheriff Greg Ewing says progress on the new county jail is like a wheel stuck in the mud.
I'm in the proverbial rock in a hard place.
The debate over a new jail has been in the works since the Vigo County Sheriff and County Commissioner settled a 2000 jail overcrowding lawsuit with the American Civil Liberties Union. As part of the settlement, the county agreed not to house more than 268 inmates and provide a reasonable amount of recreation time. But another lawsuit filed last year claims the county still isn't holding up its end of the deal, causing inmates to suffer.
I get the bad stuff and I get the good stuff.
No. The jail is not only overcrowded, but needs repair.
We're 30 years of buildup and water coming through here and rust, everything's just kind of peeling up.
We're occupied 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with people that don't want to be here.
Ewing says he's frustrated by the politics at play while the county spends almost $1 million a year shuffling inmates to jails across the state.
Vigo County citizens are paying for all that. We put a new roof on the Sullivan County Jail. So if I was a resident here, I'd be furious.
Vigo County commissioners approved a site for a new jail in February at the former International Paper site along the Wabash River. They withdrew that proposal last week due to the negative response from some city leaders and residents who say that area is targeted for commercial and recreational use.
We're right across the street from a park where we've just located our new aquatic center, multi-million-dollar aquatic center. We have visitors coming from all over to come swim, and we're going to tell them to go across the street and park in the jail parking lot.
Vigo County Councilman Brendan Kern says he prefers the current jail site, but county commissioners said in a statement that area isn't big enough. Terre Haute Mayor Duke Bennett says he's not supportive of the industrial park location due to the strain the distance will put on the city police department. The ongoing issues Vigo County is facing with its jail aren't unique. State lawmakers overhauled Indiana's criminal code by moving some of the state's prison population into local community corrections programs. Ewing says that legislation shifted those prison inmates to local jails.
Great concept, If we were living in a world of rainbows and unicorns, okay?
He says it's a misconception to think the jail is full of low-level offenders.
We're not holding Otis the Town Drunk like you see in the old Andy Griffith shows. Those are not the people we're holding, you know, and I tell our citizens, just turn on the news.
But Councilman Kern says he doesn't understand why a larger jail is needed.
Our population has declined 10% in the last 5 years, yet we're wanting to incarcerate. We have the potential to incarcerate 30 to 40% more people.
The Vigo County Council still needs to find a way to fund the proposed $60 million jail wherever it ends up being located. Kern says he thinks the struggle to move forward with the project is indicative of a bigger problem.
We don't have a vision. There are too many groups that have good intentions that aren't communicating.
This week, the parties in the most recent lawsuit against the Vigo County Jail try to get a judge to approve an agreement that provides a timeline for selection of the new jail site, as well as construction and completion of the facility, but a judge denied the agreement. Now for headlines, we go over to Barbara Brosier, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. The ACLU is challenging a recently passed Indiana law that allows a judge to notify the parents of a teen girl seeking an abortion. The lawsuit, filed on behalf of Planned Parenthood, claims the legislation is unconstitutional and asks a judge to stop the law from going into effect July 1st.
A young woman who, for many reasons, does not want and their parents should not receive notice is now being told your parents might get notice. That's going to deter those young women from getting abortions. That's an undue burden that's unconstitutional.
Governor Eric Holcomb, who signed the law April 25th, has called the measure a parental rights issue. Dozens of Notre Dame students say they plan to walk out this weekend when Vice President Mike Pence delivers the commencement address. Some say they're protesting Pence's policies as Indiana's governor, including the 2015 Religious Freedom Restoration Act he signed. A university spokesperson says school officials will only intervene if the protest seriously disrupts commencement or puts someone's safety at risk. Indiana's Commission to Combat Drug Abuse has laid out a strategic plan to combat the state's opioid epidemic, including expanding access to treatment. Commission members say it's all hands on deck when it comes to this fight.
Substantially reducing the opioid crisis must be a team effort. Our efforts need to be aligned, our approaches need to be complementary.
Indiana received $10.9 million in funding through the 21st Century Cures Act. 80% of the money will go toward treatment and increasing the number of residential treatment beds. Other funding will support the state's prescription monitoring efforts, anti-stigma campaigns, and peer support initiatives. A former Indiana congressman says Washington should be alarmed by controversial reports this week surrounding President Trump and his administration. Democrat Lee Hamilton says the claims that Trump shared classified information with Russian officials is particularly concerning because it could hurt U.S. counterterrorism efforts in the future.
Congress should be screaming about this. Congress has an obligation as a supposedly co-equal branch of government to protect the national security interests of the United States.
Hamilton says he's also pleased with the appointment of former FBI Director Robert Mueller as special prosecutor to investigate possible ties between the Trump campaign and Russia. The Bartholomew County Public Defender Board wants the county to hire 2 more part-time public defenders to help deal with increasing caseloads. The county saw about 200 more cases requiring a public defender last year than it did in 2015. The board is also recommending officials create a chief public defender position. That person would be tasked with assigning attorneys to cases, something currently done by judges.
No matter how honest the judge was, just that question in your mind, is this attorney trying to please the judge in order to get another appointment, maybe to an appellate case or something that would even pay more? Or is this attorney really defending me?
The County Council will decide whether to adopt the recommendations as it crafts its 2018 budget. The constitutionality of a sign ordinance in Bedford is in the hands of a judge. A resident brought the suit, alleging it violates his freedom of speech.
This was up at one time, and she got her done.
Samuel Shaw's signs are tucked away out of public view, but for 20 years he used these hand-painted signs to show how he feels about various issues, namely politics. Last fall, the city adopted an ordinance limiting the number of signs people can have in their yards and what type.
Don't take away my freedom of speech just because it makes something look pretty.
Faced with a possible $300 a day fine, Shaw removed his signs. The ACLU is suing the city on his behalf. In court this week, they urged a judge to issue a preliminary injunction. The judge took the case under advisement and will issue a ruling later.
The ransomware cyber attacks that infected more than 300,000 computers in 150 countries this week also targeted the Indiana University network. But officials say IU is uniquely equipped to deal with such attacks because the university has been heavily invested in cybersecurity measures for the past 2 decades.
We run the backbone for Internet 2, the largest research network in the world. And so because of this, we know both that we're a target and that we have to be pretty good at this game because we are a target.
Kate says policymakers should consider these attacks as a wake-up call. He says the federal government has not done enough to prepare for the increasing national security threat. A new solar installation at Crane will help power the base and the surrounding area. The Department of the Navy, the Lieutenant Governor, and officials from Duke Energy participated in a ribbon-cutting ceremony Thursday.
We are able to diversify our sources of energy while caring also for our environment.
Duke Energy is leasing about 145 acres from Crane for the solar farm. It will produce about 17 megawatts, or enough to power more than 1,700 homes. But Joe, unfortunately, they will not have any sun for that this weekend.
Yeah, but it's interesting. We're seeing more and more of these pop up.
We are.
Thanks a lot, Barbara. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. What happens if you live in an apartment and the property owner gets served a foreclosure notice? Ahead, why some residents are worried about being left in a lurch. Cadavers are useful learning tools, but they're not an option for every school. Ahead, how technology might be an effective substitute. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
$10,000.
15? 15, you think?
20, 21,000?
600.
20. 18.5.
24.
It's at least 40.
Look at it.
4,500,000.
650.
20.
650.
This textile would be worth about $500,000.
$500,000?
No way.
I knew it's just a blanket.
Laying on the back of a chair. Well, sir, you have a national treasure.
Wow.
A national treasure. Congratulations.
I can't believe this.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Nearly all of us have probably taken an antibiotic at one time or another. They're commonly used to treat bacterial infections. So if you get a cut, an antibiotic can keep you from developing a nasty infection. It's easy to think they can do only good things, but as Lindsay Wright reports, overuse of these miracle drugs has led to a big problem that people in the medical field are trying to combat.
This is Marian University's College of Osteopathic Medicine, just west of Indianapolis. The school is fairly new. Its first ever class of students graduated earlier this month. Part of the school's mission is training future doctors to think about treating the whole body.
No matter what field the physician goes into, they're trained to think as a primary care physician, and they're trained to think about what's best for the whole body.
This is especially important when it comes to prescribing antibiotics, which are used to treat bacterial infections. They're among the most commonly prescribed drugs used in human medicine and they're commonly perceived to be harmless. And in the short term, Dr. Amy Beth Kressel says they mostly are. But long term, it's a different story. That's because the more we use antibiotics, the more the bacteria that the drugs are fighting are finding ways to resist.
So bacteria have various mechanisms to share resistance genes, so they can swap genes. So again, by using antibiotics, we have increased the prevalence of resistance.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, at least 23,000 people in the United States die each year due to infections that are resistant to antibiotic treatments. And it can be even worse in other countries that have fewer regulations. Picture this. Our guts, for example, are full of bacteria, some good, some bad. Once you take an antibiotic, it clears your gut of all the bacteria, including the good kind. But some are left over, and they get stronger and develop resistance to the antibiotic over time. So bacteria that cause some serious infections are now becoming more difficult to treat. One example is methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, better known as MRSA, a common skin infection which seriously impacts about 90,000 Americans each year.
MRSA is either the earliest or one of the earliest examples we have of a common, very important bacterial infection that became resistant to a common and very effective antibiotic.
Although MRSA is just one example of the problem at hand, Kressel calls it the poster child for antibiotic resistance. And due to the resistance, health providers have to find other drugs to treat it. The problem is largely one of our own making. About half of antibiotic use is considered unnecessary. Antibiotics kill bacteria, not viruses. That means an antibiotic prescription for a cold or for the flu isn't going to do any good. And here's where the rub is. If a patient is sick, sometimes they just want to be treated and they don't fully understand those consequences. That can put pressure on a physician.
So if I'm in the office and somebody has a cold and they're insisting on an antibiotic, I might feel pressure to give them an antibiotic, and I might say, oh, I don't think they need an antibiotic, but it's okay, it's no harm. But maybe a year later, that same patient is going to have a urinary tract infection that became resistant to that antibiotic, and now that gut bacteria is causing her urinary tract infection, and now my usual option isn't going to work.
Even with the best practices, though, like only using antibiotics when absolutely necessary, Kressel says antibiotic resistance won't go away. So the key is how to slow the problem down. Kressel says that takes awareness, education, and a conversation.
They are powerful, wonderful drugs when used right, and absolutely life-saving, limb-saving, we cannot not use them.
Raskin says the best way to educate the public about medicine is to educate physicians properly first.
We do try to make sure that they're trained in the right way before they're out in the field. So this is something they've grown, they've experienced, they've been trained in before they even start. So it's not we have to correct behavior once they're active physicians, but they'll have learned the right way.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Lindsay Wright.
Another area of concern is there are fewer antibiotics in development. Congress approved an incentive package 5 years ago in hopes of encouraging more manufacturers to develop new drugs. But it's still difficult for drug companies to get a big return on their investment. IU Credit Union is taking a Bloomington landlord to court because he's more than $300,000 behind on loan and property tax payments for several of his rental properties. As Barbara Brozier reports, the foreclosure cases have people living in those apartments and homes worried about their futures.
Residents living at Shamrock Point Apartments in Bloomington got an unusual knock on their doors earlier this year.
It was the sheriff, which is never a good news generally. So he had a large packet of paper and just said roughly that our landlord was in court for something to do with something, and that they could be seizing his property because of it.
Shamrock Point is one of 9 rental properties run by Pendragon Properties owner Jeffrey Jones that's facing foreclosure. IU Credit Union filed the cases earlier this year, but wouldn't comment on the litigation. Shamrock Point resident Chris McMillan says he hasn't heard anything from the property managers either.
They haven't said a word, haven't bothered to contact us or, anything.
According to court documents, Jones also defaulted on payments for the Crossing at Walnut Springs, Roll Avenue Apartments, Shadow Point Apartments, Hoosier Flats, and 4 houses. Now, because of that default, IU Credit Union is requesting he pay the remaining balance on his loans in full, as well as any interest and late fees. That amounts to more than $5 million, and that amount goes up every day until the payments are made. Jones did not respond to multiple requests for an interview. The tenants and City of Bloomington are also named in the civil suits because they have an interest in the outcome of the cases. Court documents show Jones owes the city's sewer department hundreds of dollars. They also say Jones owes the Housing and Neighborhood Development Department more than $654,000 in fines. The city's taken him to court for a variety of issues with his rental properties over the past several years. The violations range from not having a valid occupancy permit to having holes in the walls and ceilings of some rental units. Hand director Doris Sims says all rental properties must be registered with the city and are subject to inspections. If a property isn't in compliance and the owner doesn't fix the violations in a timely manner, the city can take legal action.
We look at it on a case-by-case basis, how long the property has been out of compliance. Is the property owner bringing it up to compliance? So we look at different factors, and then what happens is that then the courts will assess what the fines are, and if the property owner doesn't pay the fines, then they go against as a lien against the property.
Sims says the city can't stop a landlord from renting out properties, even if there's a history of repeat violations.
As long as someone follows, what our building codes, what our rental code says, and particularly what our ordinance says, and they follow it, then they can rent property as long as they have a valid rental permit.
The big question many Pendragon Properties tenants have is what all of this means for them.
I was worried we'd lose our lease right away, but I asked the sheriff if that was the case, and he assured me that that wouldn't be the case, that our lease would stand, and that the worst case scenario, that hopefully we would just get a new landlord.
If IU Credit Union forecloses on the properties, they'd be put up for auction at sheriff sales, but the tenants' current leases still stand.
We may stay, we may move, it just depends on what happens.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Barbara Brozier.
You can look up violations for Bloomington rental properties by filling out a request form with the Hand Department. Ivy Tech students are using a digital cadaver to help build the experience of dissecting a human body. The more than $80,000 3D table saves the school money over time since it doesn't require a ventilation system or any chemicals. We stopped by Ivy Tech Bloomington to see how the new anatomy resource engages both students and faculty.
So the Anatomage table was a recent development in the world of anatomy resources, and it is, I would say, the most high-tech or engaging resource that you can get. So it's there to provide students with just a full spatial relationships of all the organs and to help them build their knowledge in a 3D environment.
We slide it real quick and we get everything.
Voila, yeah, there he is, intact.
I can just tell by the way the students interact with the table, even though they don't say it, it's also a game changer for them.
There it is. The vermiform appendix.
I do know that it's also a very coveted resource, so not too many colleges, I would say very few even medical schools have this.
We look at the heart? Yeah.
You can look at a gunshot wound, and I mean, you're not really going to get that with an old cadaver necessarily. You can pull up a fetal infant, you can pull up, I think they even have a dog on the table. So there's just a wide range of different digital images that you can look at that are so realistic.
They'll learn it faster than I do, and they'll say, hey, if you do this, if you tap these 3 things in a row, it'll produce a new image. And so they're teaching each other, which of course, in terms of pedagogical strategies is the best thing. As a teacher, that makes you smile. That's the best thing that could happen in your class.
And the Experimental Aircraft Association is offering flights in the country's first mass-produced airliner right here in Bloomington.
And Joe, I actually got a chance to take to the skies and learn more about the history of the Ford tri-motor plane. Now, one of the unique things about this plane is each seat is both an aisle and a window seat. Not much of this trimotor is original, though, because it was nearly destroyed in a storm in the 70s. Volunteers travel the country, giving people the opportunity to take flight.
Here in Indiana, the most unique thing I found is up around the lakeshore. There was a community of people that operated as during World War II and that era, Korean War era, as smoke jumpers. And they came out to fly the airplane because they never landed in one. They only took off and jumped out. So for 3 days, we had people that just wanted to see what it was like to make a landing.
And Joe, those flights are available through Sunday here in Monroe County.
Sounds like a lot of fun. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu. Main Source Bank, headquartered in Greensburg, Indiana, offering products and services to fit every stage of life. More information at mainsourcebank.com. Main Source, life needs a great bank. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members, thank you.